Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial, and in this video this is what we'll be building. So we are looking at analysis of unicorn company. I got this data from Cargo, and a unicorn company is basically any company that is privately held but has hit the $1 billion hallmark in valuation. So once it is privately held and once it has hit $1 billion in valuation, it is a unicorn company. And so we want to see all of the unicorn companies since 1922 to 2022. So we just want to analyze them. We want to see which one is topping the chart, right? Which one has the most valuation? How long did it take these companies to actually become a unicorn company, right? We want to know the industry that has the most unicorn company, because you might just be looking to get into one of those industries or invest in one of those industries. It's going to be an interesting project, so come along with me. Let's head over to Power BI. Welcome back, guys. So first things first, we need to go get our data set. So I'm just going to come to get data here, come to our data set. Cargo left this data set in CSV format, so that is what we're getting it as. So this is what our data set looks like. Now, looking at this, we have some work to do, because we just have work to do. We have to add some columns, we have to do certain things, but we're not going to do that now. We're just going to load it in. I always like us to do things when we've experienced the error, so you actually know the reason why we're doing those things. Okay, so let us load it in. And now we have our data set. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to increase this canvas setting. So we're just going to come here, come to canvas setting, make this custom, and this is my staple size. I like this size because it contains most things I would want to do, and this is it. The next thing I would want to do now is to come, change the Canva background. I don't want it white. I want it a bit grayish. But I'm going to, I'm going to leave it at this. And great, this is it. Then let us just build the structure, because taking a look at our data set here, we want to know the total valuation. We want to know the total funding, for each company, as well as the total for all of the 1,074 rows, 1,074 companies that we have. And we want to know the value created. The value created now means you were funded with $500, and now you're valued at $1,500. So what value have you created? The value you've created is just $1,000. Okay, so we have to minus the valuation from the funding to know the value that you have created. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, and this is what is informing the structure we want to build. So we're going to have 4 structures here, stating one for the number of companies, one for the total funding, total valuation, and value created. Then we are going to have another structure where we want to see the city, the company, the city, the country, and the continent. But we're going to use what we call parameters to build that. Okay, so you should check out for that. Then the next thing we want to see is the number of companies by their industry. How long it took them to join the unicorn company. So the first thing I'll do is to come to insert, come to shape, and get the rounded rectangle. So let's get this structure up and running. So I'm also going to come to shape around the rectangle. So I'll come back here, come to style, and I will put the color I want, which is pink, and then I will come back here and turn off the border. Okay, so this is what we have in terms of color. Now this is where we're putting everything. So the next thing we want to do is to get other shapes. So I'm just going to come here, copy and paste this, and put this here. So I'll change this to white. So I'll copy and paste this and put this down here. So this is what our structure looks like, okay? So let's start working on some things. But before then, I'm just going to show you something. Now, let's say we want to write our measure. We'll come to home and get our measure table. Now we have our measures table. Let's come here and get total number of companies, and we're going to do that by counting the number of rows, okay? Number of companies, count rows, and the table is unicorn companies. Okay, this is, so let's get our card in here and put the number of companies. And you can see we have 1074. So we're just going to come here and we're going to format it using the comma. So now that we have it, we're just going to push it in here. So we're going to do every other formatting that we can do here. We can do here, which is coming. Let's make this 20 so it's more visible, or 25. So let's come here. Let's turn off this. Let us go to the category label. And I want to make this 60, so it's out there. The next thing I want to do here is to turn off the background. Come here, make this white. Come back to general. Turn on the title. And we're going to write what? Number of companies. And then we're going to make this 25. Make this white, make the text color white, and align it in the middle. Okay, so this is what we have. So the next thing we want to do now is we want to get the total number, the sum of the funding that they have, that all these companies have. So let's go to new measure and let's say funding, or total funding, choose what it is. So let's say sum of what? Funding. Now you will understand, you will see this error and you will understand why there is an error by the time we have walked through it together. So we're just going to, push this in here, which is basically what I think we should do for everything. All right, so for this, let us come and get our total funding in here. And can you see? And do you know why this is happening? Because of the way our data is. We need to do some formatting. Okay, so now in order to do that, let us go to transform data so we can see why this thing is not going to calculate. We wanted to get the total funding, right? Let us go to funding and see, look at the way our funding is written. this is written in text. So can you sum up text? Definitely no. So that is why that thing came up like that. And if you say, for example, okay, I want to duplicate this and then change the type to a whole number, you would see what happens. Error. Okay, so we need to be really tactical when dealing with errors like this. Okay, so first thing, let us just go remove this and remove the duplicated column. Now we are going to get a custom column, and in this custom column we are going to put a formula on what we want Power BI to do for us. Okay, so what we'll do now is to come to add column here, and in add column we're just going to go to custom column, and now we want to write a code telling this thing that, in fact, let me remove this. Now we want to write a code telling Power BI that when they see billion, we are going to give it the literal meaning of billions, which means we're going to give it eight zeros. We're going to give it the amount of zeros that signifies that it is billion. And once it is million, we're going to give it the amount of zeros that signify that it is million. And we are literally trying to tell Power BI that it should take the number from this text, because this is a text, right? And we should take the number from the text. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Now let's go to our custom column. And now we're going to write M language, because anything we're writing here is called language. Okay, so we're just going to write the new funding so that we can differentiate it. And here what we want to say is, if we're going to say equals to if text dot contains our funding, so if this thing contains text and the text in it would have B, right? So signifying the billion, then number dot from text. So number from text, we're going to replace it with text dot replace. So we're going to replace the number from text we're replacing it from B and we're timesing it by 1. We're going to times it the number of times that will give us a billion. So this is what? 1, 2, so 1 more 0. And now we have a billion. So what we are basically saying is, if our funding contains any text and we're putting the B there, which is signifying billion, then we want the number from this text. We want to replace it with this. We are replacing the number from text in the funding, that is in this our funding column. We're replacing it with this multiplication that we're doing. So in situations where we'll have 8 billion, 8 and that B, it's now going to be 8 times 1 billion. So it is going to give us 8 billion. Do you understand? So we're just basically calling the number from the text, and we're trying to replace that text with this particular calculation that we have just done, which is times 1 billion for any value that it is. But we cannot stop here, because we also have million in our data, right? So we also have to do this particular thing for million as well. So what we'll just do is to copy it and come here, paste it. Now we're going to use else if this is this and it contains the M, which is million, then the number from text, we want to replace it in this funding column, the M as well, and we're replacing it with what? 1 million now, not 1 billion. So we have to look at this thing and make sure it is a million. Okay, so now it is 1 million. Okay, so else null. And now we're going to hit enter and we're going to see our new funding amount. So as you can see funding, this is 8 billion and this is 8 billion showing here. Let's count that properly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is 8 billion. So let's look at the million 572 and this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is right. Now what we're going to do now is to change this data type to what? To whole number. Great. So this is what we have right now. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is to do this for valuation as well. All right, so let's look at valuation. You can see our valuation is the same way, so we're just going to move over and do the same thing for valuation. So let us just come here and copy it so we don't have to go through all the writings again. So Ctrl C, and then I'm going to come to another custom column and I'm going to write what? New valuation, since we have done new funding. And for new valuation, I'm just going to paste in that code, and I'll change this to valuation and just, replace, edit everything the way it's supposed to be. Valuation as well. Okay, so this is what we need, and I'm just going to hit OK. So now we have our new valuation. We're just going to come here and change the type to whole number. Great, and this is what we have. Okay, so we don't necessarily have to do anything with these two right now. We're also going to have to come back here to change the year founded. Okay, to change the year founded and the date joined. We might not necessarily need to change the year founded because we might not have anything to do with it, but we want to see when the companies joined the unicorn companies. So let us head back. We're going to go to home, close and apply. And then we're going to come here, remove this, go back to total funding that we wrote, and now we can see that we have to get the sum for what? The new funding and no longer the normal funding. Okay, so we're going to hit enter. Now we're also going to come here and get the total valuation from the new one. Some new valuation and close this. And the last thing we want to get is the value created. So we want to know what everybody did. And in order to do that, we're just going to subtract the funding from the valuation. Okay, so we're going to go create another one right now. And we're going to call it what? Value created. And we're doing this by saying total valuation minus total funding. And that is about it. So let's impute all of this. We're coming to the total funding now. We're just going to push this in here. And you can see our total funding is 592 billion. So we have to format this using the $sign. So let's, reduce this. All right, the next thing we want to do now is to come here and format the title to what? Total funding or just funding. Okay, so the next one we want to look at now is the valuation. So we're going to just come here and get the total valuation right here. And it is valued at $4 trillion. Okay, so let us format this using the $sign. Great. So we're just going to come back here and go to general and name this what? Total valuation. Now we have that. And lastly, what we want to get is the value created. So we're just going to bring this in here. And this is the value created, which means this minus this is giving us this. Okay, so let us go to our general and just write what? Value created. Now our KPIs are ready. So next thing we want to see now is we want to go to our modeling ribbon and create parameter. Now this parameter is something that will help us put all of our charts in one particular line without having so many charts everywhere, right? In this parameter, we can have different columns and it's going to be well positioned in just one place. And when we click on different buttons, we're going to be seeing the different columns change. Okay, so come over, let me just show you guys how to get this done. So for our parameter, we're going to come to modeling view, right? As you can see, this is new parameter here. So we're just going to come here and we're creating this new parameter on fields. Okay, now what name do we want to give this field? Let's just give it location because everything is based on location. So the field, we want to add the field and we're just going to come here, and what we want to add is we want to see the city, we want to see the country, and then the continent. Right, so this is what we are creating. And now that we have it like this, we are going to edit this or format it and just make it a tile. Okay, now we're just going to push it on here. And then we can do other formatting, which is, values. Let's make it visible. We're going to remove the slicer header, turn it off, come to general, come to effect, turn off the background. So now we have these three beautiful things. So let us now make good use of it. So we're going to get our bar chart right here. And we're just going to fit it into here because this is what will be showing us these three columns. Now we're going to be putting in our location now. Okay, so we want to see the location by what? The companies. So now we want to see where these companies are located in terms of the cities, the countries, and the continent. So let's just push this up to our x-axis. And we can see all of the companies, okay, by city. We're seeing them by city right now. So let us see them by continents. Great. So this is what we're going to have. The first thing we want to do is to format this. So come to our visual. Let us go to y-axis. Turn this off. Turn the title off. Increase the visibility of this so we can see everything well. come to our x-axis, we're going to turn everything off. That's the value and the title. And then we're going to turn on our data label and increase the value font. So let's keep it at 20 so we see the number of companies. If you're still watching, it means you're gaining value from these videos. So please take some time out now to hit the subscribe button and also like this video. This is a way of encouraging me to keep dishing out this content for our data community where we all learn together. Let me know in the comment section if you subscribed and you liked the video. Now let's get back to learning. Lastly, we're going to come to the bars here. We're going to change the color of this one and put this. Okay, so for the bar, we're going to come to the layout and make it a bit smaller for aesthetic's sake. Okay, this is good. We're just going to highlight the highest. We're going to highlight the country that has the highest company, or the continent that has the highest company. So we're going to highlight it with pink. So come to apply settings to category and choose the North America, which has the highest one. And we're just going to put the pink color here. Okay. So now the next thing we want to do is come into the title. Okay. But if you take a look, when you click on country, you can see that this name automatically moves. When you click on city, you can see it automatically changes to city. So now that we are in the general part, please do not type anything in the title so you don't lose that flexibility option. Okay, so when it comes to title, we're just going to turn it on and make this 30 so we can see it. We'll just make this 30 and align it in the middle. And then we're just going to leave here, come back to format your visual, and let's change this. You can see it's still changing to country. So what we want to do, because we don't want count of company, what we're going to do is to come here in the x-axis and rename for this visual. So in this rename, you're just going to say what company by continent or whatever it is. And that is how we're going to have this to automatically move. So now when we hit on city, we can see company by city. So you can come here, come to general, come to your visual, come to bar, and get the highest one, which is San Francisco. Okay, so now by country, we also would come here, come to visual, get the highest one, which is United States, and also change by country. We can also do this using conditional formatting. All right, this is also possible using that, but for today I want to use this. Okay, so now we can see our companies by continent. If we hit here, we can see company by country, and if we hit here, we can see company by city. So this is exactly what parameter does for us. It just gives us the ability to see different things relating to one particular attribute in one place. Okay, so the next thing we want to see now is top 10 companies by the value that has been created. So we want to know the companies that have done a lot better when it comes to creating value, and it's just the top 10. Okay, so we're going to get our bar chart. We're going to bring it in here because this is where it will stay. And right, so we're just going to get the company and the value created, and is a lot because we're looking at everything, but we want to see the top 10. So we're going to come here to filter, and we're going to go to the top number. Obviously, we're going to get the top 10. And what are we getting it by? The value created. So apply filter. And now let us format this so we get to see it properly. 20. Turn off the title. Come to x-axis. Turn off the value, turn off the title. We're going to come to bars, make this we're going to go to the highest one, which is ByteDance, and just give it our color to pop. And then we're going to come back to all, come to layouts, and make this tiny a bit. Great. Lastly, we're going to turn on the data labels, but we're going to increase the size so we get to see it. I'm going to make this 20. All right. The next thing is to go to general now, go to title, and make the title a lot more visible. Put it at 30, and we want to see what value created by company, or company by value created. We're just going to put it as top 10 companies by value created. All right, so this is what we have. Great, so we can see ByteDance is doing a lot. Then Shane, the SpaceX, Stripe, Planner. Well, all of these are the companies doing the most when it comes to value creation. ByteDance is doing a whole lot more, $172 billion. All right, the next thing we want to see is the number of companies by date joined. So we want to know what year did quite a number of companies even join these unicorn companies. Maybe that year was a good year for industries nationwide. So let us see what this analysis tells us. So we're just going to get a line chart or an area chart. Oh no. So we're going to get an area chart, and we're going to see date joined by number of companies. So in order to arrest this particular situation, what we have to do is to create a date table, right? And I'm just going to do that. Let us go to modeling and just go to new table. So I just have, I'm just going to paste the DAX measure table. So you can copy this. So it's just basically saying we should add some columns. And if we take a look at our data set, our date join started from 2007. And our data set is till 2022. So this is why you're seeing our date like this. And we want to get the year, we want to get the month number and the month name. This 4 months here means it's going to come out in full. If we want it to come out in short, you put 3 M's. It's just simple as that. Now we're going to hit enter. And great, we have our date table here already, okay? So now rather than we seeing this thing by the year join, we're just going to remove this and we're going to look at it by what? By the year. So now, can you see what our date is doing? So this just tells us that we have to do something in our data set. Now we have created this date table, but this is not where it should end. Okay, once you create a date table, do well to go to the model view and model this table properly, so it understands that this date table has a relationship with your date joined in the data set. All right, so let us go to the model view. So this is our measures table. We don't have anything. This is location, a parameter, and then we're just going to bring in our date table, date joint. So we're going to create a relationship between date table and date joint. Okay, now we can see this relationship one to many. Great. Now this has been properly modeled. So now we can come back to our report view and you can see this already. So this shows that it recognizes something. Okay, so we're just going to come here and format this. We're going to turn off the title, make the value more visible. Let's put out 20. Oh, 20 is it? Okay, 20 is not bad. Then we're going to come to y-axis. We're going to turn off the title and make the value a lot more visible, which is like 20 or 25. And then we're going to make the grid lines more visible so they can be traced. Yeah, we'll leave it at this. So the next thing we want to do is to come to lines. We're going to make this smooth. And then we're going to format the color and use this. Okay. So lastly, we want to go to general and format the title. And we're just going to write companies by date join. Or companies by year joined. Or year companies joined. Number of companies by the year joined. So we'll make this 30 and we'll align it properly in the middle. Okay, so now we can see 2020, very small, 108 companies joined the unicorn company. And 2021, I think this is the highest we have seen so far, 520 companies. In 2022, we have 116 companies. All right, so this is basically what we wanted to see. Now, the next thing we want to see is the industry that has the most. Okay, so for that, we're going to get our bar chart again. The industry that has the most valuation, the most companies in the unicorn analysis. In the industry that has the most companies as unicorn companies. So we're just going to come here and we're going to get industry, and then we're going to get what? So I mean, if we format this, we should be able to see. Let us see. Oh, fintech has the most of them. Wow. Fintech is really doing a lot now. Then we're just going to come to x-axis, turn off the value, turn off the title, and we're going to turn on our data label. So we get to see the number of. Come to value, let's make it more visible. Okay, so we have 224 in fintech, we have 205 in internet software and services. But you see the way these things are, the labels are being cut short. We don't want them like that. So we want to be able to put these labels up above the bar chart. Okay, so before I even do that, let us go to the bars and make it a bit smaller. Okay, let's leave it at this. Now we're going to go get something called a placeholder. So I'm going to come to my measure table and I'm just going to, get a placeholder, and I will call that hold. So this placeholder is just going to give me the ability to put another value in here. Okay, another value that I don't need. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to get that hold and put it here. So you can see, so it's giving me space where I can actually put this label. I can put the labels. Okay, so this is what this is going to do for me. It's going to give me space. And in fact, you can also use any other thing that you created. Okay, so we're just going to come here. Let's quickly format this. I'm going to turn off the legend because obviously we don't need it. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to turn off the y-axis because this is going to come up pretty soon. And then I have to go and get another measure and call that measure get another measure and call this measure company, or rather industry. I'm going to call it industry. So I just want the selected values to be there. That's just about it. Select the selected values. I want the selected values to be what? The name of the industry. So once I click on industry, it is giving me everything. So this selected value is what I will place on here. So this is just me saying I want to put that same industry name up here, okay? So it is just the same thing. So I'm going to come to visual right now. I'm going to go to my data label because that is where I will do all of these. And for the series, I want to put it on hold because I want to change this hold to the selected value. So this is the industry. And now rather than saying 0, I am going to see those industries because that is the field I just changed it into, okay? So I'm going to make this 25 so we can see that properly. I'll come to bar, come to layout, and then I'll reduce the spacing so it comes down and it looks a lot better. Okay, so this is what I want it looking like. And now I'm going to go change the color. So I'm going to come to bar now. I will come to number of companies and I will change this color to what? To our normal color. So yeah, this is it. Lastly, let's come to general, come to title and just change this title to companies by number of companies by industry. I'm just going to make this what 30 so we see them very well and align it properly in the middle. So this is what we have. But if you take a look, you can see this is not arranged properly the way everything is arranged. If you want it like this to just give your work a bit of change, that is fine. If you want it arranged, you can just come here, come to this ellipsis here, sort your axis by number of companies, okay? And you can see it will be arranged from fintech all the way to the lowest. So we want to see the companies it took the longest to join the unicorn company. So some companies were founded in God knows when, and it took them 38 years to join the unicorn companies, while some companies were founded in 7 years and it took them like 7 years to get into the unicorn company. While some of them might be as a result of more funding, others might be as a result of just not being strategic enough or whatnot. But let us see how long it took them to join. So in order to get this, we have to go to our transform query. So let us go to our transform data and get this thing. So for us to get the longest it took them to join, we have to know when they were founded and when they joined, and we have to subtract the both of them, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to come to date join. So we're going to change this date to age per se, so we get to know very well. So we're going to come here, come to add column, come to date. We're going to move this to age. And this is what we have, but we're not done. We're also going to come here and come to duration. We want to see it in total years, and we can see this total years, but okay, I want this to be in one single place. So I'm going to come here again and I'm going to round it down, okay? Because till you are that year, you're not yet that new age, okay? So we're going to round down and not round up, and we can see the years. Okay, so now we're just going to say this is years for date joined. Now I'm going to delete this, remove. Okay, next thing we want to see is year founded, okay? Because we've already seen that of year joined. So this is year founded. We want to get the age for our year founded, but as you can see, we don't have it in a date format, okay? So let us know if we can change this to a date. And it's not giving us what we want, okay? It's not. So we're just going to remove this. So we're just going to come to custom column, right? And I'm just going to name this new one new year founded. And then I'm going to come here and say hashtag date, because what I want is I want that of year founded. Good. And I want it to start with 1, and that is January and 1st of January. This is what I want it as. So let us see. And you can see our new year founded. Okay, if we take a look at this 2012, 2022, 2008, we're going to come to year founded and see. Can you see? So all I did was put it in a date format, allowing it to start from the 1st of January all the way down. Since we really do not need the month and the day, what we need is the year. So we're just going to come here and change the type to a date. And now we have it as a date. So now we can do all of this analysis that we were doing before. So I'm just going to leave it as I'm going to come to date. I am going to get the age. Now I'm going to go to transform, so every other thing happens in this column. Okay, so I'm going to go to duration. I want to get the total years, and I also want to do this rounding it down, because till you're that age, you are not that age. So now we have these two. Okay, and now what we want to do next is let us change the name to year founded. So we'll just know that it is not the new one. All right, so this is like the age. Now what we want to get is we want to minus the year it was founded from the year they joined, so we'll know how long it took them to actually get to that point. Okay, so for that we're going to go to add column, come to new custom column, and do that calculation. So what we want to get now is the date difference. And for the date difference, what we want to get is what? The year founded. Insert it, and we want to minus it from what? The year's date joined. Okay, so and now we can see the date difference. So this person joined this person was founded 12 years ago, and they joined the unicorn company 5 years ago. So you can see it took them 5 years to join this unicorn company, and this is how we can work around that. So let us change this type to a whole number. Okay, great. So we're going to come to our home now. This is basically what we need. Okay, we don't need any of these two things. So we're going to come to the home. We're going to close and apply this. We're going to get our bar chart. And let me just copy and paste this one, so we don't have to do a lot of formatting. Okay, so now what we want to see is we want to see the date difference, and we want to see it by the company. So we're just going to put company in here. Remove this, remove this. Now we're going to leave the hold there because we are also going to, work around that. All right, so we want to see the sum of the date, we want to see the date difference by the company. And remember, we want to see the top 10. We're going to come to the company and we want to go to top N, and we're going to see the top 10 by the date difference. So we're going to see the ones that took the longest. So where is date difference? We're going to see the one that took the longest to get to valuation points. What am I looking at? Okay. So now let us change this. Let us change these labels. Okay. So we already have our hold. What we are going to do now is to come here and let's just create a selected value for the company, just the way we created for the industry. So we're just going to put company here. Selected value. Unicorn companies, this one. And we're going to hit enter. Okay, so rather than industry being here, it has to be company. So I'm coming to my data label right now. Coming to value. Oh, I'm supposed to apply this series to what? To hold. Remember, to hold. And I'll come to value. Rather than the industry being here, I'm going to go change it to what? The company. And now I can see the companies that it took the longest time to become a unicorn company. Now I would just come here to VARs, sum of date difference, and I would come and change it. All right. So the next thing I want to do now is we want to sort it, so we don't just see it anyhow. We want to see it from the highest to the lowest. So these are the top 10 companies that it took the longest time to join. It took Ottobock Healthcare 99 years to join the unicorn company. Now let's format this title. And we're just going to say top 10 companies it took the longest. We have every single thing, every single one of our unicorn analysis in here. So you can see the country that has the most unicorn companies, which is this is the continent, which is North America. And when we come here, we can see the country, which is the United States, followed by China, followed by India, then United Kingdom. Wow. And when it comes to the city, we can see it is San Francisco. Okay, so this is the industry that has the most unicorn companies, okay, artificial intelligence and whatnot. And this is the top 10 companies by value created. You can see ByteDance doing the most number, followed by Shen, followed by SpaceX, and all of that. So I'm just quickly going to go put in the logo and write our topic for today. And if you want to learn how to put in logos and icons into your dashboards, you're going to see the link to the video in the description box below, and it's also going to be showing up here right now. You need to watch the video so you get to, beautify your dashboard with the appropriate logos and icons, okay? So guys, here we have it. I've been able to get in this logo. This is just showing the unicorn, to merge with the name, which is the Unicorn Company Analysis. So this is the logo, and this is every single thing we have been able to do with this project. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project and you learned one or two things. Now you understand what unicorn analysis is and every single thing that has to do with the unicorn. So do not forget to hit the subscribe button, to like, share this video, comment on what you would want to see next, and I'll do my best to do that for you. All right. And I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.